Good morning, everyone. So, this weekend is going to be all about recovery. I had a terrible week because I ate pizza every single day. And yeah, I guess this proves that you need to eat healthy if you want to be productive. So, I think it's good. I mean, there's always going to be ebbs and flows. Like, we're not robots. I've been procrastinating on my homework all week. And the thing with procrastination, and I wish I knew this earlier when I was younger, is procrastinating is not necessarily because the activity is hard, but more so, I think a huge part of it is the unknown. Like, you're protecting yourself because you don't know how it's going to go. You're protecting yourself because you think it's going to be hard. But generally speaking, a lot of the tasks that we need to do, it's not necessarily because it's like impossible. Like, you're not going to go and run an Olympic marathon tomorrow or something like that. It's not necessarily because of that. It's more so because we don't know how it's going to go. And part of consistency is to prevent that, where you always know essentially how it's going to go because you do sort of the same things all day. But then you have the problem of, okay, well, am I doing the right thing? Should I be expanding my horizon? For today, because I haven't done homework for so long, I am definitely feeling the signs of procrastination where I just don't want to get started. So the point of the morning and having a good night's rest is the mental reset. And now I feel mentally strong enough to get into Canvas, look at what I need to do. And the first couple of steps are really, really well planned. And I honestly wish I learned this when I was an undergrad just to get started. It's like I visualize not necessarily what I need to complete because that just like make me procrastinate more. I just think about, okay, like first I'm going to open this tab, I'm going to open Canvas, I'm going to look at the instructions, and that's all I'm going to be doing for the next hour. And it just makes me feel a lot better because you're kind of compartmentalizing and breaking things down into chunks. So I guess that's the quick tip of the morning in terms of procrastination. And I am back to the somewhat healthy diet. So right now, I'm gonna make some eggs and spinach for breakfast. Bro, sometimes the dishwasher, the like escape hatch for the dishwasher pod, it doesn't really come out, and then it doesn't actually wash the dishes. So I had to wash this by hand. Man, I mean, I'm not complaining because I just have to turn the dishwasher on again, but washing my hands. I did that all the time coming from an Asian family because my parents didn't want to use the dishwasher even though we had a dishwasher, so I would like to avoid that if possible. Oh, actually I see what's going on. Looks like the dishwasher is plugged. Man, this does not look good. That is not a good sign. Let me just make breakfast first and then deal with this later. The morning hours are really important. I'll try to deal with this as quickly as possible so that I can actually get started on my homework. I took a look at my assignments. Looks like I just need to do project proposals for both my courses, which honestly is not too bad. So, like I said, the procrastination, I'm already feeling a bit better because it doesn't feel like it will be too difficult to get it done, hopefully today.
A few moments later.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I have not been productive at all. I think it's because of that dishwasher thing causing me, well, not stress, but just like a lot of effort. It's still broken. So, because of that, I went to go take a nap. I also made the ribs, which is right here. Probably ate too much of the ribs all by myself. Not only that, my arm hurts, so I put this steam eye mask thing on because I didn't have a heating patch and the steam eye mask just puts out steam. Alright, there's a Lakers game. We still have Sunday to get everything done. Okay, folks, I am doing a complete mental reset because today has just been a unmitigated study disaster. I have not really gotten anything done. Good thing it's still Saturday though. So the whole reset is, well, let me explain. Let me start the car first and then explain. So this week, it's supposed to be reading week, or I mean, I guess it was last week for UBC students. And for those of you who don't know, my sister is studying CS at UBC, but because of reading week, she went to Calgary to visit our family. And yesterday, was her flight back because I think they start classes up again on Monday. And I asked her when her flight was because I just wanted to be polite, being like, oh, do you want me to like pick you up or something? And then she told me that her flight was going to be landing at 12:20 a.m. And I was like, bro, I'm an old man. Like, I sleep at like 11 p.m. Worst case scenario, I try to sleep before 12:30. If I picked her up and then dropped her off and then came back home, then I wouldn't like, it's just too late for me. Oh my God, this Amazon Prime car. What is going on? Point being, I told her that she was welcome to stay over at my place because we have an extra guest bedroom. But then she was like, oh, I have to study because she has like a couple midterms right after a reading break. And then I was like, I have to study too because I have some tests and I also have some work to do. But sounds like she was, well, I don't know how productive she was, but I've been not productive at all. So I probably could have picked her up yesterday, all things considered, but I didn't. Now, the whole idea of me going to UBC is, first of all, just to do like a mental reset. I feel like a mental reset is always really good, at least for me in particular, during these types of situations, because what I found ends up happening as somebody with like huge ADHD is the more I wait to do the work, the worse it gets for me. When I get to a time like this, my usual response now is to be like, okay, today's not my day. Let's do a reset. Let's do something productive in terms of getting something done, getting some errands done. I'm heading to UBC to see my sister, mainly to cause her some grief from her studying, but also she was able to get me my favorite sub from a sub restaurant in Calgary. I have no doubts it is probably the best banh mi Viet sub place that I've ever went to, and I've gone to a lot of places for banh mi's. She also got me from Calgary this Uniqlo jacket that I've kind of wanted because I saw her wear it and I was like, okay, I want one as well. So she got me one from Calgary. Basically, I'm going to pick that up as well. I've also bought some really cheap stuff from Bench. You know, Bench used to be like a super well-recognized popular brand in Canada back when I was in high school, but then they closed all of their stores and went all online, so I don't know if they are still reputable in terms of their quality. A lot of their stuff was going on sale and it was really cheap, and I was like, man, this is a price that I cannot afford not to buy based on this price. I'm hoping that this shopping, well, not shopping fit therapy, but the subs, these clothing, all this stuff will give me some therapy over the fact that I've gotten really nothing done this past week as well as on Saturday. Okay, that's pretty much the quick rundown. It is pouring rain outside, but heading to UBC now to grab all of the stuff. This is definitely my old stomping grounds. I used to live over here on this building to the side called Broad Commons. Time flies. Grace, we said we would be here at 5:55. I'm here, but she's nowhere to be found. It's not like I have been particularly productive today, and I guess I also feel bad for not picking her up yesterday because I also didn't do any work, but she is still not here. Grace! Oh, that's not Grace. There she is. Grace! Alright, time to go to her place to grab the stuff.
Hello.
Hello. Can you sit on this side so the camera can see you, or sit in the middle?
Oh, wow. We're filming?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to do something productive today. I kind of feel bad because I said I was going to pick you up. Well, I said I wasn't going to pick you up yesterday because I needed to do work, but I wasn't able to get any work done. It's kind of terrible.
You also told me that you weren't going to come today.
Yeah, it's because I wasn't getting any work done, so I had to do a mental reset. Like, I feel like in the past, like, when Danny used to ask me to go skiing, I'd be like, oh no, I'm tired, I can't go skiing. And then I just didn't do anything that day either. And then I just felt really bad that I didn't go skiing, and I also didn't do anything that day, so I just kind of gave up.
That happens to me too. And I've learned that in those situations, I just do the fun thing anyways, because I don't end up being productive anyways.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a reset. How's studying for you?
It's good. It's good.
How is studying as a second-year CS student without an internship?
I know you're gonna say that.
Okay, well, I mean, like, okay, sorry, my bad, my fault. How does it feel? I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
I don't have any questions for you.
Oh, this building? It's finally built.
Yeah, too. It's for freaking kinesiology, bro.
Wait, I thought so it's not a res building?
No, it's for kinesiology. And then across from it, they built a new building, and they're building a new solder building too.
Because they're rich.
Like that white one is the new.
Dude, I love how they increase tuition fees all the time, but then they have money to waste, so then they just spend it on buildings. I mean, they are getting more students, but still, I feel like if you're a school who's spending their money on buildings, it's just like...
You might as well build more residence buildings. All of us are like homeless.
I know. They should just spend it all on res instead of like whatever they're doing right now.
The jacket's in here.
Thank you. So, we went to Arc'teryx recently, and they have like this red jacket. Did I send you that red jacket? Do you see? It looks... I actually really like it, but it's like $600.
Oh no, that jacket you sent me was so ugly.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you don't understand, dude. I like the logo-less stuff.
It was so ugly.
So is anybody getting internships in your class? Like at big places, big companies? Second years are still getting internships? How is the job market right now?
Terrible.
Would you recommend younger students going to CS?
Well, yeah, if you want to do it, then still do it, but like it's terrible right now.
The job market?
Yeah.
It's not good.
Like my friend's in third year, he just got his first internship, but it's not even like a real internship because it's only 12 weeks for some reason. And then this
No,
other
12
friend,
weeks is a 3-month internship. That's fine.
but they don't recognize it as one at UBC.
Dude, that doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, but like they're saying it's not 4 months. And then another friend could only land a 12-month one, so he's stuck at a company for a whole year.
Yeah, I know. 8 months is, I think, more than enough. Actually, 4 months, in my opinion, is already enough.
Yeah, like if he hates it, then he's literally stuck there for a whole year.
但他也可以找其他的，大不了
I thought you were doing some interviews for some places.
Yeah, and I got rejected.
It's okay.
Well, literally, they just ghosted me after the interview.
That's what they usually do.
I had to like email them. I was like, guys, like can you like tell me like if you're gonna reject me, at least tell me.
Yeah, a lot of companies don't give the common courtesy of like telling you that you got rejected. Because I feel like it's definitely a little bit rude. Actually, Google was kind enough to tell me that they rejected me. So, okay, well, good luck getting the internship for the summer.
Good luck on
Okay,
midterm.
bye.
Bye.
Also, we have a bi-weekly today. But whatever, bye.
Bye.
Man, her attitude. Very bad. Man, students doing like 3 midterms. I am glad I don't have to do that many. Even though I am technically still a student, I am super glad that this is not my life anymore. It is 2025. There are easier ways to test people on their knowledge, in my opinion. Okay, time to head home. My favorite sub. I'm very excited for this. I am back, and there are a couple of things I want to chat with you guys about. I mean, it's not a serious conversation, but just things I've been thinking about while driving back. The first thing is that I'm still doing a better job of maturing and being less harsh on the people around me, like my sister. For her, she's probably having a hard time getting an internship. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, right? But when she says stuff like this, it does make me panic because it reminds me of how I felt back in the day when I couldn't get an internship and the things I did. And like when there are differences between what she's doing and what I'm doing, that's sort of where the impatience the impatience comes from. But everyone's different. Everyone has to go through their own path and learn their mistakes on their own. So I always have this debate on whether I should just like tell her. But then if I tell her, am I not letting her make her mistakes by herself? And which things should I let her avoid? That's something that I'm always wondering. As I grow more and more mature as an adult, I think I'm constantly trying to do a better job of balancing that, but also continue to try to build better trust with her. Because the problem is that, yes, I can give her good information, and yes, I can give her the tips and tricks to how I got into Amazon and became a software engineer. But the more I tell her that she's doing things wrong, the more I'm affecting her confidence and how, like her belief in herself and things like that, and impacting her confidence. So it's definitely a balance between telling her what to do versus just letting her figure out what she needs to do and being more encouraging. The other thing is that I feel like something that my sister, just from this conversation that we had on the car, she was like saying some things about how, oh, like, I mean, I used to complain all the time about internships as well, but she was complaining about how like her friend got like a 12-month internship and it's like quite long, which is not ideal, and also how like for a 12-week internship it's not accepted by co-op, things like that. Basically just like certain rules or certain things that are like seem rigid. And my response, or like our response right away, was like, these are all negotiable. When I first got my internship at Sedna, when it was an 8-month internship, I was not even a part of the co-op program. I just went to the co-op program and I was like, look, like I already have an internship and I need to be a part of the co-op program to fulfill these credits, but also so that I can stay in residence. Because then when you're in co-op, you're still accepted as a student so that you can still stay in residence. So when I told them that, like, I didn't know how I was going to go, and there was no precedence or any rules behind this. But then the coordinator was like, yep, I understand. You need to stay in residence. I'll put you in co-op right away. And we didn't even go through an interview process. Did I bend the rules? Yes, I did bend the rules, but the way I thought about things was I went back to first principles, which is the co-op program. They want people who have a job because then they can say like, look, we have so many students, like over 95% like rate of people getting internships. That's the metric that they care about the most. And what I cared about was being a part of the co-op program so that I could stay in res and also get the credits. So like when she came to me and complained about, well, not complained, but just talked about those issues, we're just like, honestly, it's not that big of an issue. If you got like a 12-week internship, you can talk to the co-op program and say like, look, like the job market is tough. Can we still make it as part of a term credit? And if it's a 12-month internship, you can still look for other internships while you're part of that 12-month internship. And if you get a better one, then you can negotiate with your current employer. Then you have more leverage in the situation. So I guess the point behind all this is, my sister sometimes comes to me, like I remember during Christmas holidays, she was saying like she thought like, or she's like, oh, George, I know that like maybe I'm not as smart as you are. Part of me is like, okay, but I also think the other thing is like, it really depends on how you define intelligence. I don't actually think I'm like more talented. I just think based on my personality, I'm not as willing to accept the way things are, the way rules currently are. I think some rules should be respected, but definitely I don't come with a mindset like that. It's always important to think in first principles before you say no for something. I mean, even for the young kids who are watching this, like if you watch Mr. Beast, right? He's given tons of examples about how when he wanted to go to the pyramids of Egypt, people around him were like, no, you can't do it. And then Mr. Beast was like, well, let's go back to first principles. Why can't we do it? Why is it not possible? Like, what can we do to make it possible? So my whole point is that I think if anything, it's less about intelligence, but for me at least, I've always thought about things in first principles, or I try to at least. And that's always served me really well instead of just complaining about or accepting the way it is. Like everyone knows right now the job market is not good. And I was also really lucky back in 2022 to get a job so early on in my computer science career because of how good the job market was. Like I understand that it is more difficult nowadays for students. But at the same time, like that is the case, but there are other ways that you can work around those things, which is maybe getting more referrals, networking better. Back in the day, we didn't have ChatGPT, so maybe my resume was not written as well. Now you can make the resume, like you have better, there are certain advantages and there are certain disadvantages. So I guess my main point is that number one, I remember Jay-Z said something like he would always try to put himself in other people's shoes and see what he would do in their shoes and think about the execution and decision making. And my encouragement is always try to think about, based on the cards that you're dealt with, what other people are dealt with, how you would approach a certain situation and how you would strategize, and not judge based on what the current situation, what cards you're dealt with now. Like you can't control that. These are the cards you're dealt with. How do you execute from those going forward? And that's also why I don't accept the whole like YouTube, you have to wake up at 5 a.m., things like that. None of those rules matter. What does matter is you going back to first principles, understanding yourself, understanding the current situation, and being malleable enough to figure out what is actually needed and what's not needed. Because the whole problem of not going back to first principles is you could still be working hard, but you may be working hard on the wrong things or just not having a clear direction on where you want to go. Okay, I hope this is not too harsh. These are just some thoughts I thought about just talking to my sister, and I hope if my sister does watch this, I'm not being too harsh. Because at the end of the day, like, she's still 19, and there's still tons of time to make mistakes. And I myself am doing a better job of being more, like, not trying to be so harsh and, like, going from my perspective and just giving the right answer and letting people grow and figure out things on their own. Again, for these young people who are watching this, if Mr. Beast is not a good example, my sister brought me to this YouTuber from Calgary called My Fan. And she talks about always writing about things that she wants to do in the future. And she goes through this first principles exercise. Like, for example, she wants to do this clothing brand and wants to do collaborations with bigger brands in the future. And she talks about how, like, it's good to have these mental maps of, like, the things that she doesn't have currently and why it's impossible. Like, she wanted to do a clothing brand. It was impossible at the current time for her previously because maybe she didn't have the right connections or she's never done X, Y, Z. But then she was like, it's still good to write about them because subconsciously you'll work towards those goals so that maybe 5 years down the line, future you will have the resources to do and execute the dreams that you currently have. So, is it still worth it to study CS to be in software engineering? I still feel like software engineering CS is still a really good degree to be a part of. Yes, it is true that the job market is hard right now. And I guess my main point through this entire talk is that the situation is a situation. You can't control that. But what you can control is your effort in terms of understanding what you have to your advantage, what you can do, which rules can be bent, which things cannot be bent. And then, going back to first principles and thinking it out on your own, you have a better strategy of what you can do and how best to position yourself. A lot of the talented people who I know, like some people who I am currently mentoring, they did get an internship at Amazon, Meta, and different places. So it is still possible. So yeah, I'm pulling for all of you guys who are out there on the job market. Best of luck, you guys, and you guys can all do it. I know this is only $100, but I am still super excited to get this Uniqlo jacket. It's been such a long time since I've bought stuff, and I really like the Architects jacket that I went to last weekend, but I'm also too cheap to buy that. So, oh man, this feels really good. Oh man, oh shoot, this might be too small for me. I'm a bit too fat. Oh man, it's feeling a bit tight on the sides. No. All right.
Yes, mine.
This feels a little bit tight. Actually, I don't know. What do you guys think? Wait, let me get the wide angle so you can see the full. Alright. Is this too tight? It feels a little bit tight on the side here, but maybe that's okay. But, I feel like I fall down and not get hurt with this. This is great. Only $150, so pretty good deal. And I really like this color. This is definitely an upgrade. This is definitely an upgrade over this Nike puffer jacket that I have from before. I remember as a student on the SkyTrain drooling on the sides here. You see the dark stains? It's all from drool when I was back on the SkyTrain. I used to be on this SkyTrain, I was too tired and I would fall asleep and I would drool on the side. And then even though I've washed it numerous times, it's fully stained there. There's nothing I can do. So I am due for a day-to-day upgrade. And it's even got zippers on the side. This is what I need. Woo! Alright, see you guys in the next vlog.